Chapter 2. The Ghost in the Machine. The confident smirk on Leo's face had faded by the time he hit the street, replaced by the cold and tense focus of a chess master calculating 5 moves ahead. Marco's problem wasn't a matter of law. It was a matter of leverage, and to create leverage out of thin air, he needed a specialist, someone who operated in the spaces between contracts and conversations, a ghost who could manipulate the very perception of reality. He needed Aaron. Aaron's office was a glorious, dusty anachronism nestled on the third floor of a pre-war building that smelled of old paper, leather, and pipe tobacco. While Leo's world was one of sleek lines and digital files, Aaron's was a fortress of bound legal tomes, teetering stacks of manila folders, and at the center of it all, a massive oak desk bearing a vintage Rolodex and a crystal tumbler half full of amber liquid. Aaron looked up as Leo entered, his wild mane of white hair giving him the appearance of an electrified sage. A mischievous glint shone in his sharp, 72-year-old eyes. "Leo, to what do I owe the pleasure? Did you finally get yourself arrested for thinking too loud?" "Not yet," Leo said, bypassing the client chairs and pouring himself a splash of Aaron's expensive single malt whiskey. "I have a situation, a predator, a victim, and an impossible object." He laid out the whole sordid affair. Marco Rossi, a good man being crushed. Silas Croft, a corporate parasite of the highest order, and the 100-ton steel monster holding Marco's life hostage. He slid the lease across the desk. Aaron scanned the document, his lips pursed. He let out a low whistle. "Oh, that's a nasty piece of work. Ironclad, beautifully vicious. The kind of thing they teach on day one at the Vulture School of Law." He took a sip of his whiskey. Croft's mistake was thinking the vault is Marco's problem. You're here because you know the vault is actually Croft's problem. He just doesn't know it yet. "Exactly," Leo affirmed. "I can't move the vault, but I can change what it represents. I need someone who can sell a story. Someone who can build a phantom so real that Croft will try to shake its hand." Aaron leaned back in his creaking leather chair, a slow smile spreading across his wrinkled face. It was the same predatory grin Leo had worn in the restaurant, just aged, like fine whiskey. "This isn't a job for a lawyer or a demolition crew. This is a job for an artist, a theatrical performance. You need a ghost." He swiveled and, with practiced ease, spun the ancient Rolodex, the cards flying by in a blur. He stopped on one, plucked it out, and slid it across the desk. It was blank except for a phone number and a single word: chameleon. "The chameleon," Aaron said, his voice dropping into a conspiratorial tone. "Best corporate real estate agent who never officially existed. Specialized in creative acquisitions and relocations. This more hostile takeovers in the 90s with a well-placed rumor than most firms did with a billion-dollar war chest. No one knows her real name. She's a ghost in the machine. If she can't convince a greedy bastard like Croft that a 100-ton paperweight is the most desirable object in the city, no one can." He paused, his eyes locking on Leo's. "Her services, however, are legendarily expensive." "The best revenge is priceless," Leo said, pocketing the card. The meeting was set for a neutral location, the hushed, anonymous lobby bar of a 5-star hotel where million-dollar deals were made over $1,000 cocktails. Leo watched the entrance, expecting a flamboyant character, some larger-than-life figure. He almost missed her. She was a woman in her late 30s, with an elegance that was striking yet paradoxically forgettable. Her charcoal gray suit was impeccably tailored, her dark hair pulled back in a severe professional knot. There was no flashy jewelry, no overt display of power. Her only notable feature was her eyes, calm, intelligent, and relentlessly observant. She moved with a quiet confidence that absorbed the room's ambient noise rather than adding to it. She was the chameleon. "Mr. Vance," she said, her voice as smooth and neutral as her suit. She didn't offer a name, and Leo didn't ask. She sat opposite him, her posture perfect. "Aaron said you had a unique property placement issue." "I have a client," Leo began, choosing his words carefully, "who's being leveraged by an immovable fixture in a property he needs to vacate. A very large, very old bank vault." The chameleon listened without expression, her fingers steepled. Demolition is expensive but straightforward. My client can't afford demolition. More to the point, demolition isn't the goal. The goal is to make the property owner want the vault, to see it not as a liability to be removed, but as an asset to be protected, an invaluable asset. A flicker of interest appeared in her eyes. You want me to create value out of nothing, to sell an illusion. My fee for such creative halakha begins at $250,000, non-negotiable. Leo didn't flinch. The price was a test. The fee is not an issue. The target, however, might be. He let a bead of silence hang in the air, then leaned forward slightly. The property owner is Silas Croft. The name landed with the force of a physical blow. For the first time, the woman's professional mask cracked. It was a hairline fracture, a subtle tightening around her eyes, a faint tensing of the muscles in her jaw, but Leo saw it. The calm observer was gone, replaced by something colder, sharper. She was silent for a full 10 seconds, her gaze distant, lost in a memory Leo couldn't access but could feel the chill of. When she spoke again, her voice had lost its neutral smoothness. It was now lined with steel. Silas Croft, she repeated, the name tasting like poison on her tongue. He bankrupted my mentor a decade ago. A brilliant developer, Croft used a smear campaign and a series of shell corporations to trigger a run on his financing. He bled him out, bought his portfolio for pennies on the dollar, and left him with nothing. My mentor died 2 years later. The pieces clicked into place. This was no longer just a job for her, just as it wasn't just a job for him. Aaron, in his infinite cynical wisdom, hadn't just given him a consultant. He'd given him an ally. This was about more than a contract or a fee. It was about vengeance. He has a particular talent for crushing good people, doesn't he? Leo said, the shared history creating an instant, powerful bond between them, like a chef who enjoys torturing his lobsters before he boils them. The chameleon looked at him, truly looked at him, and for the first time a small, chilling smile touched her lips. It mirrored the one Leo had worn, the one Aaron was famous for. It was a smile of a hunter who had just been given the opportunity to settle an old score. Forget my fee, Mr. Vance, she said, her voice a low, dangerous purr. Consider it a professional courtesy. I want Silas Croft to feel what my mentor felt. I want him to be ruined by his own greed, choked by the very thing he covets most. She leaned forward, her eyes now burning with a cold fire. The ghost was in the machine, and she was ready to haunt it. Now, she said, all business once more, but with a new personal edge. Tell me everything you know about this vault, and tell me everything you know about the insatiable avarice of Silas Croft.